Hey guys, welcome to another podcast. This time my guest is Xelod93. That's because he's 93 years old, right?
Right. Thank you for inviting me, Poofer.
Yeah. Hey, at least you're not calling me Poofy yet. I know you said you would do this if you could call me Poofy, but you can't do that. Please don't do that, man.
I will not, Poofy.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, this is gonna be great. Yeah. Oh. Oh, this is gonna be such a productive podcast. I just know it. Oh, okay. So, I guess in tradition with the other podcast, there are questions that I guess some of my viewers want answered. I think Basara asked this first one, which was he wanted to know our thoughts on the side missions and their placement with the main bosses, and how do we feel about that? Anything we want different from it. So what do you think about some of the side missions, Elad? Like, what was it? Imago a Die Hard? Do you think it's a good mission? Do you care for it?
To be quite honest, I'm not a big fan of that mission, especially because the boss as boss, yeah, it's act differently than in the main mission. It has some, let's say, nonsense moves that it does not do in the main mission. I mean, maybe that's fine, so yeah, it's not the same, it's not repetitive, as people used to say, they don't like that. But again, I really don't care about that mission. You get a bunch of punks hiding in bushes, those ninjas, those idiots all around, like, you need to kill them all every damn time until you reach the fucking bridge to the boss. So, not a big fan of that mission, but it's fine to have side missions with the bosses to farm the skills at least. Because we have a bunch of problems when we don't have the side mission with certain bosses, such as, for example, Tokichiro, and then I need to run over and over into the mission and kill the boss, and when I drop the spinning text, I gotta leave because I need that spinning text as well. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the thing.
It's so annoying. I am happy though that they added the scrolls. I prefer the scrolls a lot more than I do any of the side mission whatsoever. Just the scrolls are a lot of fun. The side missions, like let's just go with Imago a Die Hard. It's just like, well, I don't really care about a lot of all this, and it's just not as fun as the scrolls to me. I think the scrolls are pretty much what I hoped the side missions would be. That's pretty much about it. I don't really have an opinion beyond that when it comes to side missions. Do you like the scrolls overall?
Well, the scrolls are actually really, really great thought from the Team Ninja side. So you can get bunch of great gear. It's like reminded me on arenas from the Nioh 1 in the Abyss. But the good thing is the enemies are not that crazy and terrible like there. And they're not attacking that often in a groups as they used to in Nioh 1. So overall, it is fine. Like, I actually like them.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the scrolls. They're fun little gauntlets, fun little challenges, and whereas side missions can just be annoying. And you can pretty much fight, I think you can fight just about every boss in the scrolls if I'm not mistaken. I haven't done every single boss in the scrolls yet, but I haven't fought Gyuki, for example. I know they just recently released DLC bosses in there too, and I haven't touched one of those, but it's great. I like those. I don't really give a shit about the side missions.
Well, I have fought the Gyuki because the Gyuki scroll was kind of nice. It had a nice stat. Believe it or not, I don't really like that boss. Like, I deeply hate that boss because I'm not a big fan of the huge bosses, especially like Gyuki. It's clunky, slow. The hitbox of that boss are all around that you don't even know. You're just running around dodging some I don't know what. Then you're looking inside the boss, which you see nothing but an empty space. I'm not a big fan of those kind of bosses. Like, really, they could done that boss way better, way better. And I had to do that scroll a few times, and I gotta say it's okay if you do it with a normal weapon. If you take a low level weapons, oh my god, no, that's a pain. And about the scrolls related to the new DLC bosses, I haven't touched any, but I have seen lately on Twitter as well some issues with the bosses or the boss is glitching and stuff like that. But I guess they're going to fix that in the next update.
Yeah, I actually saw, just before we started this, I saw that glitch that you posted in Discord with Azai Nagamasa just like doing the dive and then he just froze. I'm like, what the hell is this, man?
Exactly.
I thought they fixed his AI so that he wouldn't just like stand frozen. I'm like, nope, we're wrong.
No, there is no help for him though.
There's no help for him. He's just an excuse of a boss, a bird brain at that. It's so bad. I don't really like Azai Nagamasa at all.
Well, look, I love the music in that mission. The music.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. Like, first time when I heard the music, goddamn, like this is something that we need. Not like a reworked Nioh 1 music. Like, let's say Nioh mission. Come on, like Team Ninja. I love that boss. I'm not saying like Nioh is an amazing boss. I love his new moves and everything. But come on, Team Ninja, please. Just change the music then. Like, put anything else. Like, don't rework the Nioh 1 music. But you know, it's okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're not starting the mission just yet. But I just loaded it up, so there's something different besides the loading screen. But yeah, I really did like the music. The boss, whatever, but the music in this game has been really overall pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I remember there was a general concern that they would reuse the boss music that was featured for, I think at first in this game it's for Imagawa, in the beta it was for Maeda, that new theme that they have. And I think the concern was that for like every human boss it would always be the same. It's like, no, it's actually different depending on who you fight. So it's certainly a nice upgrade to have. And I do generally feel that the musical direction, the overall art direction, it's a direct upgrade.
That's correct. That's correct. Absolutely. I agree with that.
I think though, and this is going to segue into the next question, who's by QRD88. The one thing I don't like is how much bullshit hyper armor there is on quite a lot of enemies. To the point it just doesn't make sense. I think the biggest offender is Sakata Kintoki, the Axe Dojo boss, and the Hatchets Dojo boss. He is one of the most infuriating enemies to deal with. He has evasion hyper armor. I'm like, screw you, man. It's such shit.
God, I mean, I shall not even speak about that. Like, if you remember back then, I was fighting. I didn't want to cheese the Hatchet's dojo master on a Dream of the Strong, and I was fighting him normally. It took me a total of 11 hours. 11 hours to kill him properly. I mean, that fight doesn't look anything special. I have it on my YouTube, but that shit is terrible. The dude is not real. Like, he's dodging and in hyper armor at the same time. Like, I don't know, man. Whatever you do, you're gonna hyper armor the shit out of you. Like, please, dude, like, chill out. Your key recovery is like a Jin Hayabusa and you're wearing the heavy ass armor. Like, you barely move your agility D. You know, it's terrible though.
And on top of that, don't forget, he can do, what is it? He'll do like Bear's Bane into Titanic Strength with no downtime in between. Or like super quick charge Rampage. I'm like, yo, can I do this shit? No, I can't. Feels bad.
Like, I don't know who's worse. Like, it's the same dude who's wielding the axe and hatchets. Like, they choose anything worse. Like, I don't know. I mean, imagine they put the dude as the dojo master for everything. God damn. How are you gonna drain the key with a spear on that dude? Tell me. You will not be able. Because spear don't have that much key damage. But Hanzo, for example, as a dojo master, it's totally fine. Hanzo key and HP balance are totally okay. You can knock Hanzo out of key if you pressure him. But that dude, you can pressure him and he's holding the block, and his key is recovering while he's holding the block. That happened to me in a dojo master's mission. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm hitting you, holding the block, and your key is recovering. If I try to do that, you know what's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah, I actually was trying Winds of Ruin with level 1 weapons. It's just as a request from chat. And I was doing Tonfa Split Staff, which basically shreds any enemy, but not him. He just wouldn't. He had like infinite key. And then he would do that Spirit Storm thing and then knock me and then regenerate like 50% of his key. And I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be a fun time.
Exactly.
There's so much shit with dojo just bosses and just so many enemies in general where they seem to just break the rules and it gets really annoying really fast, and I don't generally enjoy fighting them for that reason.
Well, the Team Ninja probably wanted to change the dojo masters comparing to Nioh 1, which is fine. I agree with that. Like they have added them those sweet evasion attacks where they evade and hit you. You did not expect that. But for example, Dojo X Dojo Master in Nioh 1 was way better. His ki were acting normally as it used to act for somebody who's wielding the heavy armor, super heavy armor. Because I think that the side that he's using it super heavy. I'm not sure is it the heaviest, but it's super heavy. It's not that. It's not even the to the medium.
It's been crazy. It's been really crazy. I think like, you know, the Sohoya hatchet people who do like demon undercut and they just like throw the hatchet on the ground. No matter what you do, you can't knock them out.
Wow,
Like,
I mean,
that's,
those dudes
you know what
are-
I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
I
the
know.
enemies. Here, I'll just show you where it's like, okay, they're all attacking all of a sudden, hyper armor, and then they do that, and you can't stop it at all. It's some
Sad.
bullshit.
Sad.
It's pretty sad. But I definitely think that hyper armor, I've said this before, I think hyper armor does have a place. I just think right now it's a little on the, just being a little bit too much everywhere. And I
Yeah.
don't particularly like that. Like just on everything. Okay, everything is a stretch, but it's just, it's used way too often to make an enemy, I guess, harder as opposed to better. And I want enemies to be better and not just made more annoying. Like Saito Toshimitsu, I think he's the base example. He just does so many things at once that all put together make him a complete nuisance. And
Yeah.
it gets pretty aggravating.
I should not even speak about it, boss. I mean, like that was the only boss, like aside of the who else was giving me a little bit of trouble. Kash and Koji, but he's not a big of deal. You just use the Kash and he's dead. But the Saito was really pain because the dude don't give a fuck about your moves. Like he's holding the block, he's input reading you on the next level. Like he's input reading you like I don't know, the enemies on Way of the Nioh in Nioh 1. That's how well he does that on Dream of the Demon. And I can imagine how he will be on Dream of the Nioh. It's gonna be another terrible fight. Because he's breaking every single rule. Like basically, you are knocking him out of ki. He has 0 ki, and he's yet going for that. What was the name of that move? When he stuck the Odachi in the ground and then pull it off. Wow, goddamn.
Oh yeah, with the water geysers afterward, right?
Yeah, exactly. He did that to a lot of people I was watching. Like to every single person, he did that when he was out of ki. Even to me, when I was about to kill him, he almost killed me with that shit. Like he had a 0 ki, but he did that. It's really, and also his dodge roll distance, dude. What the hell is that? Like I don't think that even spear can reach how far he dodges. It's terrible.
He has a lot of backdashing too. So I've noticed this when I've fired off a full Magatsu warrior, and he'll just like dodge out of it and like dodge even further back and create even more distance. So it's definitely coded into his behavior. For him, basically after some pressure he dodges away, but it's annoying in the same way in which you're dealing with Ubume. Like every single hit she'll just jump back and you're like, okay, what do you want me to do, not attack you?
Yeah,
So that just gets annoying after a while.
So for Ubume, let's say like the best weapon for Ubume in my opinion would be hatchets. So you just toss the what was it, the dragonfly,
Right?
Yeah, and then you just trap her there, and then she cannot dash back, but she's still trying to dash back. Like how obvious that is. You trap her, but she's back dashing constantly. I don't understand that behavior that why the Team Ninja made all the new enemies have that stupid behavior of dashbacks. Like
right, it's excessive. It really is. It's like I'm fine with a little backdashing here and there, but when it's like this, and I'll just show you for your screen, it's like, okay, dodge.
Yeah,
dodge.
exactly. Imagine, and in a co-op is even worse. Like when you are not co-op, and it's kind of okay, you can track it down. But in a co-op, goddamn, like all it does is just backdash, and they have insane ki, especially the 3 people. They have a insane ki. Like the ki damage in a 2 people and 3 people, it's a hell difference. I don't know why. I think they still have to balance the 3-man ki damage because the enemy has too much ki, or it's resistant to the ki damage too much in a 3-man co-op.
Right, and in single player, it's like enemies run out of ki really quickly, or it's just kind of on the extremes. Either they take way too much punishment, or they take no punishment at all, and that's kind of what I find in general with Dream of the Demon. I'll just use like level 1 weapons, and I'll get through most of the content fine. But then it's just like a couple of enemies, whether it be the ones with the Curse of the Demon or bosses, they just take way too long. I mean, your video against Yoshitsune, 23 minutes.
Exactly.
23 minutes. That is insane amount of time to deal with Yoshitsune with level ones.
Because
that's
like
so long.
exactly because the only reason why is like I had not a single stat which is providing me any damage boost. Like so I have my set, I have my weapons, and everything that I have on my weapons is a key damage, key reduction, active skill, key consumption, blah blah blah. All those I would say defensive stats.
And yeah, all the stuff that's actually useful.
Exactly. And then I was fighting him. Luckily, he don't have a second phase. The dude has one phase and that's it. If he had a second phase, I would be probably stuck on that boss who knows how long. Because...
Right. And the funny thing is, and I just want to mention this for anyone who didn't, if I didn't catch this, Xelod taking 23 minutes on Yoshitsune isn't particularly like that big of a deal, except when it comes to this. I'm pretty sure for normal enemies, he killed them in like 30 seconds with the same weapons. That's my biggest problem. If it was just like, okay, well then everything took a long time, fine. But from what I've seen in Xelod streams, normal enemies take no time, even with level 1s. But then just a couple of enemies just take so long, it's ridiculous.
Another reason why the Yoshitsune took me 24 minutes is you cannot confuse that boss. Most of the bosses you can confuse, and once you confuse the bosses, if I'm not mistaken, they said the damage increases by 25%, which is quite nice boost. But on Yoshitsune, you can do nothing. All you can apply is corruption. You can apply for some reason purity. I don't know why, and he's using purity as main element. But any other element will completely not be tickled at him at all. So corruption.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I've tried to like inflict fire, it didn't work. It's like purity and corruption are the only choices. That's not gonna work. Then you can't confuse them.
Exactly, and I don't understand. I mean, okay, they made a purity and corruption, which is fine. So their names are negating each other, but they could make them, combine together to apply confusion or something else. Not confusion, something else. Like when you apply corruption and purity, that doesn't mean necessarily that they need to negate each other. But again, that's on a Team Ninja. So.
Right. I mean, I can understand thematically why one would cancel the other, but it just kind of feels bad because in Nioh 1 you had Earth and Wind. You had 5 elements you could work with, so you had many different ways to inflict confusion, but now you only can do 4 elements together. Like you can do, say, fire and purity, water and purity, lightning purity, or you could do those corruption, but you can't do purity and corruption. In first Nioh, you could do wind and earth, no problem, so you had an extra choice. Yeah. So it still feels kind of bad. I mean, I wonder why they got rid of wind. I mean, earth I can understand because purity and corruption do similar things to earth, so it's fine, but no wind is kind of weird to me personally.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I love the wind. Wind as element was great, because you would reduce the enemy attack power by percentage-wise, not a fixed stat-wise, or however you want to say that, or however it's saying, doesn't matter. The thing is, like, let's say the boss. You're fighting the boss. Boss has way more attack power than our regular enemies. And when you apply the wind on the boss, you have greatly reduced his attack power, which means that a move which should one-shot you will not one-shot you. And then you have your ace saved. But right now, we don't have that. Like, we can...
Yeah, I'm very surprised by that. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to bring... Since they brought purity-based spirits, I know you're using, Kurama Tengu... They'll have, I'm pretty sure, corrupted spirits. Again, it's not a guarantee, but I'm almost certain that they'll do that. It just kind of fits, but it's still kind of weird. And what's even weirder, though, is that, and you've probably noticed this since you've done a lot of level 1 play, it gets a lot harder to inflict elements the longer a fight goes on. If you don't keep the elemental debuff or buff up against an enemy, it like eventually you just will not be able to apply it.
That's
And
true.
that's also really annoying, especially in long fights. It's actively punishing you for that, for not having enough damage or not being able to keep up the element. And I think that's a problem.
Yeah,
Like,
that is correct. Absolutely, I agree with you on that one, because I think, but I cannot claim that 100% that in Neo 1 the elements used to be in confusion. As confusion used to be staying longer on enemies than here. The
right.
confusion wears down really fast. What I have noticed as well, but I don't know, is that does that happen every time? Is, let's say I apply the purity on the target, and then the purity debuff is slowly running out, and then at a very last moment I apply the other element, and for some reason it happens a few times for me that a confusion just apply for the amount of time that a first buff was about to run out. Let's say there was a 2 seconds before the purity run out, and I applied the water, and then the confusion was just 2 seconds or something like that. It just wear out too fast. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I've seen that too. It gets really annoying. I do certainly feel that confusion needed to be rebalanced for 2, because confusion in 1 you could basically apply that, and then the enemy was a punching bag. So I was okay with it having a lesser reduction or just not lasting as long. But I do agree with you in that it just doesn't last long at all sometimes. Like just for a split second and then it's gone.
Yes.
It's just weird.
I agree with you as well that the enemy should not be a punching bags as they used to be in Neo 1. Like you knock their horn or you confuse them, and then boom, you can basically de-equip your weapon and punch them, and they're gonna get staggered every damn time. And that's a basically punching back. And in Neo, the way they did it in Neo 2, I'm fine with. Like I'm totally fine with, because you cannot rely anymore of sitting in front of enemy and just pressing the one button. I'm absolutely fine. All I would like to see, aside of purity and corruption, they could add back the earth and the wind, because the earth and wind does not have anything with the purity and corruption. Those elements are something different. Like, I mean, okay, wind was the purity is, no, pardon me, the corruption is kind of similar to the earth, but still, I think they could keep all the elements and add purity and corruption. That's what I think.
At least wind. Maybe they could, this is just spitballing here, but they could have earth be the de facto key damage one, and then purity could be about nullifying buffs. Corruption could, I guess, then make an enemy more, susceptible to debuffs and stuff like that. I don't know. It could just be something a little bit more imaginative as opposed to just entirely replacing earth. I still like purity as it is. I love how you can key pulse off a block. I like that corruption is kind of the other way around, in which you attack a lot, your key pulses can become stronger. So I like how the weapons themselves work, but I think they don't necessarily need to take the place of the elements from the first Nioh.
Absolutely, like key pulsing after block, it's something amazing on the purity weapon. Like I really love that. Like that's something which is allowing you as well to perform the certain skills which require you to hold block. Let's say I use, Wild Spear is not as it used to be in Neo 1. I really wish that I could cancel it with a mid-stand strong attack, because that shit was too dope, but I cannot anymore. But what I have found, I have noticed few times on my streams that I've been doing the Wild Spear out of nothing, and the enemy hits me and I was like, how the hell this is happening? And I tried to ask, nobody knew to tell me, but I just accidentally discovered that if I hold the block and let enemy hit me, and then I press A to charge the Wild Spear, I'm going to charge Wild Spear on the enemy. Unless the enemy land another hit and stagger me. But I just hold the block, and the enemy hits me, and it triggers that key pulse window, and I can just press A to trigger the Wild Spear or any other move which is similar to that one. Which is quite great.
That was a really cool find from you. It just wouldn't occur to me that, hey, the purity weapon can be used to start off the Wild Spear thing almost instantly. Now there's the issue of like being stuck in the animation time at the
Exactly.
very end, but it's
Yeah.
it's still a cool find. And it's like when I think I saw Waiko way back, I think around the beta, when it just kind of it's obvious now, but I hadn't seen it before where he was doing spear flourish right after a key pulse, like right from the key pulse of the being blocked, or doing demon dance right afterwards. Like just being able to do that, it's obvious now, but back then it's like, whoa, I can't believe I didn't think of that. And so having the purity weapon types and the corrupted weapon types have just added some new flavor, and I like it. But I still miss wind, and I still think there's a place for earth if done well.
Yes, I agree absolutely there. But maybe they will do something. Like, we yet don't have the full game, and I mean, sadly, I have not played Nioh 1 since beginning. Like, I have jumped into the Nioh 1 once they released the PC version and the full edition, so I cannot say how the game was back on the release, because they had to keep, and I mean, it was their first game, they couldn't make that much mistakes, but they did not have all the stuff that we used to have as in complete version. The stats and stuff like that. So I was talking to the Spot CMC. He told me that neither the the weight reduction was in Nioh 1 on the beginning. They have added later on. So that's why I've been waiting, expecting every damn DLC in Nioh 2 to see that back. And so, for example, parry disabled, he said that a parry disabled, it's not the Nioh thing. It came with a PvP. So parry disabled were related to the PvP, so the players could hit other players through the block, because otherwise bouncing off would be annoying. And it's actually, then people realize that parry disabled works in a PvE, or let's say against the human bosses, which is, in my opinion, and we used that stat a lot, is great, especially against. Let's get back to the Saito. If I could pierce through his block, my God, I would rack that dude apart, no matter how much he's cheating. He can cheat until tomorrow if I can pierce through his moves and deal some damage, or attack him. That's not a problem at all. But I assume, I mean, I'm not sure will we get a PvP back, because the Team Ninja is aware that they need to get better servers or dedicated servers for the PvP. I mean, it's not that easy, because the lag, it's something it's really serious issue. People cannot play, like, so I can only hope so. We're gonna see the PvP back, and the only reason I want PvP back is just because of the certain stats, and that's all.
Right. I think that I'm hoping that they release PvP, less for the actual PvP, to be honest, and more because I think PvP will almost force Team Ninja to actually balance quite a lot of issues with various weapons. It's just going to be obvious that some weapons are just better than others when it comes to certain things. And we can actually, that brings me to the third thing we should talk about, which is the weapon tier list, how we think certain weapons perform, not just in terms of damage, but in terms of their utility. What do you think are probably the best weapons overall? Best meaning in terms of how versatile they are, not necessarily how much damage they do, but how they work.
In the terms of variety of skills, perhaps I would say that certain weapons need more skills. One of them is I would straight ahead say axe, and really axe is powerful weapon. It has a crazy key damage.
Agreed.
In my opinion, it should be just a little bit faster, just a little bit, not too much fast, like in a God of War, because that is too fast, but just a little bit faster. Aside of that, it's fine, but it needs more skills. Like when you open the skill customization tree, you will see the bunch of moves are missing. Let's say L1 plus square in a certain stances. Like, why? I mean, take a look at spear, take a look at axe. Like, it's.
I'm actually doing that right now. So for any of the viewers, Xelod and I are just discussing the axe. So while the axe is really powerful, For example, high stance, there's no L1 square abilities, there's no square abilities whatsoever. It's all triangle, triangle, triangle. And then you have your buffing abilities that you can sheath. And then mid stance, I was happy that they added Southpaw, but it's like that's the only option that you have. And then, you have the L1 square thing, and you got Spirit Storm, but Spirit Storm still kind of sucks.
Yeah,
most people just use Spirit Wind. Spirit Wind can be used on anything, anywhere, anyhow, so there's no downside to it.
Exactly, and the BSG also said that, so the other people been mentioning, I think it was you as well, Axe needs something like Bolting Bore Onodach.
Yeah, totally. Like, it's a must. I agree. Odachi getting it is great, but Axe needs something like it. Like, if Spirit Storm worked on any yokai ability or just anything, I'd be much more okay with it. But it's human only. No Key Pulse afterward. Bolting Bore works on anything. It works on Kamaitachi. It works on Yoshitsune. It works on yokai. It's designed to do that, and you get a Key Pulse after it, and you can get final blows on enemies with it, and you can item cancel with it. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah. This is ridiculous. Yeah. And then you got Spirit Storm, which is a hot mess of just complete crap.
Yeah, but if the Spirit Storm would be able to knock away yokai, because the axe, it's not any light weapon, it's heavy weapon, and imagine that animation that it has right now when you knock away the human, basically. If you could knock away the yokai, it would be something, but not yet the Bolting Bore, like a Bolting Bore Onodachi, but it would be something. Right now, it's just shit.
Right now, don't do jack shit. And then even with low stance axe, it's the same thing with high stance axe. There's no square abilities, there's just no input there. And then we can compare it to weapons like the sword. If you just take a look right now with me, you can just see low stance, all the different various bindings that you have. You have L1 square, you got triangle, you've got just many, many different options. And it's kind of the same with the spear. Spear has a ton of different options too. And that makes it really, really nice. But it's just not the case for weapons like the axe. I was happy with some of the things they added to dual swords, but there's still a huge room for improvement. What did dual swords get mostly? A bunch of parries. What did it already have a ton of? Parries. Why does it need more parries? You got
it is fine.
Mid-stance 4 parries. You got 4 parries in the square slot. You've got Demon Thrust, Piercing Wheel, Earthly Flow, Punish the Proud. They're all parries.
Exactly. That was about what I wanted to say. Like, Team Ninja, like, please. Like, I understand you want to give us variety of parries. Not a problem at all. But if you put a fucking 10 parries in one button, I cannot use them all at once. Unless you allow me to use multiple damage, choose them. I don't know. Like, I don't know how, but no point. Early Flow was really amazing. Amazing parry on the yokais, on everything in a Nioh 1. In Nioh 2, it just become nothing but a trash. BSG been complaining about that a lot. I totally feel him and understand him, because I know what he used to do in Nioh 1. Like, he always succeed to find some I don't know, ridiculous or great way to parry the enemy, which was like hilarious to me. Let's say when Hinayama dropped on the ground from the air, he did EF her. I was like, really, dude? Like, how do you get a fucking idea to do that shit? Like, that kind of stuff. But I wish they make that as it used to be. Pearson will...
Right, I do too.
Pearson will looks nice, but it should be placed somewhere else. Like, they should allow us to put it in a low stance, for example, so I can, I can put it somewhere else aside of mid stance. Punish the Proud, it's... Okay, it's satisfying for trolling the enemy. Humans. On the yokais, you can do nothing. You cannot knock the yokai away. So again,
it's very disrespectful and really satisfying, because it reminds me of King Leonidas's kick from 300. That's exactly what it reminds me of. This is Sparta. This is Sparta. Yeah, exactly. So it's certainly nice. It's a cool looking ability, but the fact that it conflicts with other things is problematic. I've actually been using Demon Thrust, which I never used in Nioh 1, believe it or not, because Earthly Flow is just so much more fun and satisfying to pull off. But the thing is that I guess I call these the block parries. That's just what I've called them. But stuff like Demon Thrust and Spirit Wind and even Cuckoo's Call, they all can actually work on burst attacks. So you'll take a lot of key damage, but you can actually follow through the animation. Whereas abilities like Earthly Flow, they don't work on bursts. So it's like, well, that's kind of a problem.
Yep. Another thing with the Demon Trust, you're correct. I never used it as well in Nioh 1. But a good thing about Demon Trust is basically that skill has a, let's say, parry disabled, which means when the Yoshitsu Saito it's holding his stupid goddamn block, which he do 24/7, you can pierce through the block and get a free God of Wind 3 because you can follow up from the Demon Trust into the God of Wind 3. If you try to do a God of Wind 3 with a quick attack, your attack will bounce off from his guard. So the Demon Trust into the God of Wind 3, it's like a free key damage on that punk when he's holding the block. So I think I even said that to Abab once, or the dumb chicken biryani. I'm calling him Abab because that was his first name. So it's really, really useful. Now when we don't have the parry disabled, Demon Trust is like a super, super useful skill.
Right. It's made it a lot better. But yeah, I just hope that Dual Swords... My hope for Dual Swords is it gets more things like Dual Dragon. Dual Dragon is just... I'm glad they sped it up in the main game, because in the beta it was pretty slow. But abilities like Dual Dragon and Double-Headed Slice were definitely needed for the Dual Swords, and they help it a lot, but Dual Swords needs a lot more. You have useless abilities like Mortal Flow. Like, it's just so bad.
They I don't know what they have done to that skill, man, but they have made it to be awful and terrible. Like, it was way better and way faster in Nioh 1, and it's been working way better in Nioh 1. I don't know why they just copy pasted. And another thing, you've been mentioning the Dual Dragons, right? If you go into the skill customization and if you check the animation for the Dual Dragon, you will see how lazy they were. They did not even change the animation. So animation is still slow as it used to be. Which means, they speed it up, but animation is still the same as it used to be earlier. While for the split step, it's opposite. You have a faster moves on the animation than you have in reality. I don't understand that.
You know, speaking of which, with patch 1.14, they updated the Yata Mirror to basically function in the same way that Gust Talisman does and Switchglade's Whirling Blade ability does. But, so it basically reflects all projectiles, and well, not all of them, but it deflects projectiles. That's pretty much what it does. But it still says deflect bullets and arrows. I'm like, no, it does more than that. Players aren't... It's like, come on, just update this text.
Yes.
It's basic.
I agree. When it comes to those, let's say, small stuff, they are not that important, but let's see, on the other mirror, that one should be important because the arrows and bullets are not same as the projectiles. Projectile can be hatchet, which is, going towards you. It could be a rock. It could be a aberrant soldier, whatsoever, that his hand shot. I don't know how you calling that thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I know what you're talking about, though.
It is considered as projectile, which is fine. But bullet and arrows, like what? The aberrant, it's not shooting the bullets or the arrows.
It's just another source of confusion for people, and that's kind of a problem. One of the things I've said many times is just that the new player experience for anyone entering Nioh is just not that good at all. And it's actually, I think, one of the reasons why players will actually go for build videos is simply because the game isn't presented in a relatively simple to understand fashion. So they're going to go to somebody who seems like they know what they're talking about. I mean, I have to do my obligatory status sheet rant, which has kind of been a recurring theme. But if you look at the status special effects, you just see mountains of text. You see walls of text, just so many different things to read over and over and over again. And, if you're... even for someone like me who's played the game a lot, it's just kind of tiring to go through this to verify certain statuses or certain things and to check certain things. And I can't even organize it. And I wouldn't expect a newer player to even remotely have the patience to go through this.
Absolutely
whatsoever.
Right.
And I do like the effect icon list, which now it can be organized and sorted and so on and so forth with little explanations on the side explaining what certain things mean. I think that's great, but I just kind of want that sort of a treatment kind of put on just about everything else. I want things like the dojo missions to be a little bit easier for players to work with. Just artificially gating people from getting the full experience just feels kind of bad. It doesn't really have a place in Nioh. I think I've said this before too. I find that when you're starting to learn skills in the game, it's really annoying, and I'm going to bring up the sword. It's really annoying how skills are acquired. Like, there's some organization, I'm looking at the sword right now, and if you look at the I guess let's just say it's a compass. The north side of stuff has high stance related things, but that's actually not technically the case. You got Sword of Meditation, which is not a high stance specific thing. So again, this is already kind of a bad way to organize it. But overall, I've noticed the trend is high stance stuff on the north side, mid stance stuff on the west side. On the south side, you've got low stance, and on the eastern side, you have just stuff that applies in general to the whole weapon. But within that categorization, the certain skill slots, just where they're put, just doesn't make sense. So I've used this example before in my review video, and I'll just mention it here. I think getting Morning Moon for the sword is a good start.
Yes.
I think it's kind of your basic bread and butter ability for your sword. Great, just put it in the center. But then right above it, Sword of Meditation. Like,
absolutely,
I think I might be one of the only people in the entire universe or multiverse who ever uses this ability in a serious capacity.
I still don't even actually, until recently, I didn't even have that skill, because no point of having that skill, because it's going to kill me more than anything. Like, this is good when you want to do the style and the fight, when you recording the video for the YouTube and you doing some boss such as stuff. But I'm not gonna run around and fight the 5 Gakis and then use a Sword of Meditation to kill the Gaki, and then the other 3 Gakis will rip me apart. Like, come on.
Right. And that's the tradition. I don't even use it until, like, I'm absolutely certain I'm going to be able to pull it off. But I can get this ability by doing the Novice Dojo mission. But then it's like, oh, I want to get Sword of Discernment, which is at the bottom right. And it's like, I have to do Adept to get that. I'm like, this makes no sense. Why is an ability that is basically no one's ever going to use, why can I get that earlier than can I get just a simple ability like Sword of Discernment? It just doesn't make sense.
Like, sorry for interrupting. My opinion would be like the Sword of Discernment should be in front of the Shadow Sword, because the Shadow Sword, I'm not using Shadow Sword that often, but I would put Shadow Sword instead of the Morning Light, and I would put Morning Light on the right side of the Armor Piercer. That would be how I would organize the bottom part of the let's say katana tree. Because we need the Sword of Discernment at the beginning. Like, I need something to get to the enemy guard, or parry through their block, something.
Right, just something. There should be some sense to this, and I think just little things like this, when they're added up together, they just make the new player experience that much worse. When there's just confusion. You have confusing elements already. You have a ton of elements in this game, and then you have this layer of confusion that just doesn't need to be there. Any new player is just not going to give a shit, and they're just going to go to somebody who knows what they're talking about. And unfortunately, that's just people who do builds, I guess, for the time being. That's who they'll go to. And yeah, I mean, right now, one of the easiest and most popular things I've seen, and I actually did this, I think, was it yesterday or the day before, was just to show how, like, off kilter certain things were. It was that I used Split Staff, used Dragon Dance, and then just to be a complete idiot,
I remember that.
Yeah, Dragon Dance, and then I got the custom active, where is it? I think Imperious Strike, yeah. So it gives you 50% more anima gain when you hit with certain weapons or certain attacks. And Dragon Dance naturally already gives you a ton of anima. Split Staff in general gives you a ton of anima. But I got so much anima, I could spam Otakemaru just non-stop. I think I killed Yatsuno Kami on Calamity's Pulse in less than 30 seconds. And I'm like, this is crazy. I didn't change anything else about my character. I just gave Dragon Dance Imperious Strike, equipped Otakemaru, and that was it. Like, come on. You have it just needs to be rebalanced in a way that not only is the game more accessible to players, but also doesn't allow players to completely trivialize content to the point that they don't have to learn anything. I mean, if I can just do one skill to completely delete bosses, why would I care about doing anything else? And that's kind of a big issue.
That's true, and especially for the new players that you've been mentioning, that they don't have proper resources where to find or see the stuff, and then they go on YouTube, and when they type on YouTube something related to the Nioh, not you or me or anybody else who is I would say like invest a lot of time in this game and a lot of stuff will pop up, and that's a bigger issue. They're gonna find a lot of different people who are just showing them, oh, I'm going to show you how to spam one fucking soul core and how you gotta buff up, use the slot talisman on the boss, and in my opinion, they are it's a not good presentation for the game.
It's shit presentation for the game.
Exactly, it's shit presentation.
Let's just be real, man.
I'm against that. Like that's the thing. That's why I've been even trying to say. Like we are running this community. We are trying to put this game on a level where it's supposed to be. I keep saying, and I was keep saying since I started this game is not a Dark Souls. I have played Dark Souls. Like it's not that I have not. It's not I'm speaking out of nowhere. I played a Dark Souls 2. I played a Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 2 was back then an amazing game, really challenging. I died on my first run in Dark Souls 2 until I beat the game 700 times. Wow, because that was first time playing such a game, the game with that kind of mechanic. Dark Souls 3 was easier than Dark Souls 2. And then I got back to Nioh, and I finished the Nioh dying 2,000 times, and I was hell crazy. I beat a Nioh in a mid stance only, because I was a complete scrub. I didn't even know anything. And BSG pop up once, and been trying to show me the stuff. I saw his gameplay. I said, wow, this game can be played differently, but it's because I saw his gameplay. I haven't seen some dude spamming the one button or one magic or, one move. Like I have seen variety and how that game can be played, and that is what attracted me to the game. So that's what the people need to see in order to get into this game, and in order for Team Ninja to sell this game, because they have give a lot of effort into developing, into creating this beautiful game. And it has a beautiful combat system and everything. They just need a proper people to do the showcase for them, basically. Because I assume there is a plenty of people, even in Japan, but I just don't know what they are doing, what the Team Ninja is doing when it comes to the marketing.
I don't really know if they're even doing any marketing, to be honest. I remember for the DLC, it's like, what do they have on Twitter? It's like 7 days. I was like, okay. I'm looking for the DLC. Can I get any information besides a Kodama, please?
Exactly.
And then it was like
8 days. Scampus. And then
they had the the Scampus. And then it's like Sudama, or they had the brute form just like sitting down. I'm like, this doesn't hype me up at all.
And then somebody new see that on Twitter and says, what the fuck is this shit? What are they even, what they're even trying to tell us with this? Like, like instead of showing some gameplay something and they say DLC is getting out, showing the until now new weapons and stuff. I mean, they got a bunch of stuff on the YouTube, dude. Like they can get anybody to create any. I mean, they don't even need to do actually anything. We can do the job for them. Create something and give them. Just to put that when the people see gameplay and how great game is and how you can play that game, they will say, oh wow, this looks amazing. I want to try this. I want to learn play it like this, because that's what attract the people. Most of the people that I know has been attracted by the combat and the way that we play. And I was okay. They haven't been attracted by anyone who been holding the one button or spamming the one soul core, or I don't know, tossing the slot on the boss and then I don't know doing what.
I wish they, they dropped like the actual formal DLC trailer. I think like the day the actual DLC came out. I'm like, wait, what's the point of that? Why not have just had that a week before? I would have been so much more hyped. about the
Exactly.
DLC. If I had that trailer, I would have been like one of those. I mean, I would have just been my usual nerdy self, like dissecting every little second of that and be like, all right, this is what I got to report, guys. Let's go analyze this frame by frame. Look at this stupid expression, or like have 30 seconds of gameplay for the split staff and so on and so
But
forth.
instead, you had to analyze these campuses, Kodamas, brutes,
Ah,
pharaohs, and
yes.
phantoms meditating, and you would say, "Oh, look at this brute! He's meditating, waiting for the DLC to drop." And so these campuses.
I know. It's just not there. It's like, come on, this is basic. I don't have extensive knowledge about this, but even I can say like, hey, you guys just aren't even doing anything. I'm one of the I'm devoted to this game. I really enjoy it, and I'm
Yes.
not even remotely hyped. Like, come on. Like I'm practically a shill at this point for free, and I'm not even hyped about the product that I'm shilling for. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, basically
That's
you're
how bad
promoting
it's
something that
been.
you're not even hyped for. Like, like you're paid to do that, and you're not. Not like neither of us. We are doing
I
this
know,
because
not even. I just wasn't hyped. Like I enjoyed the DLC overall. Like overall, it's a lot of fun, and I wish for more from it. But I can understand that the coronavirus really has taken a toll on various countries. So I'm given some latitude for that. But it's like, come on, still, you guys. We gave you 4 months. We kind of hope for a little more,
Yeah.
skills here, a little more here and there. Just something to just help satisfy those who paid extra for the DLC, and
It's true.
it's not really there.
But hopefully, like, let's wait a second DLC and see then what we're gonna get in a second DLC, because people have been saying that they promised a big DLC before they release the first one, which we have not got. I mean, it just looks it is big because you gotta you have a one region divided in 2 parts, but it's not that big.
It was pretty short though. You just had 2 main missions and a bunch of side missions, and that was
Exactly.
it.
But
In all honesty, I mean, I like the DLC, but like the scrolls have been far more entertaining for me anyway. I'm like, ooh, scrolls. It's just like so many cool things you can do with it. Whereas the DLC missions, I'm like, yeah, I kind of dealt with like once or twice, and sure, they were sort of cool, but it just wasn't nearly as memorable as the scrolls were.
That's correct. That's correct. But on the other side, I hope so that a second DLC will be way better. I mean, in terms of the missions, by that I mean like a bigger amount of missions. Like there were just 2 main missions there, and like a bunch of sub missions. There 1, 2, 3, like nearly maybe 6 to 7 of them. So overall, the DLC weapon, I'm not gonna even discuss about it. The split staff is amazing, great weapon, and I'm glad they are fixing the stuff and reworking the weapon and adjusting the stuff. That's cool. New enemies, new Peppo, amazing yokai. Like I couldn't ask for a better yokai, and it has that hilarious thing. Like you can toss the bomb on him when he's trying to suck you in. Like, dude, I didn't even expect that. Like somebody told me toss the bomb, and I tossed the bomb, and dude just eat a bomb and explode. I was like, what the hell, man? That was amazing. And
I remember I just tried it randomly too, and I'm like, wait, that works? That's awesome.
Exactly. And then on the other side, you have a crab, or however you call it, that creature, which I highly dislike.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The thing is, you cannot do any key damage or any kind of damage from the front on them, except if you don't have the lightning element on your weapon. If you have the lightning element, then everything else is ignored. Like your attacks are working, your key damage and everything on from the front is working. What the fuck what is the point? I don't understand that thing. So you either gotta go behind them and hit them with any element, any weapon, or you gotta get in front of them with a light element on any weapon. You will be able to hit them. Makes no sense to me.
Like, it is weird. It's again another kind of thing that's just unclear when it comes to the game. It's just like you don't really know kind of what to do or what to expect or what the rules are, and that really doesn't help. It's just having that sort of confusion doesn't really suit Nioh well, because it doesn't come off of as like smart design or sort of whatever, it just comes across as just confusing. With games like Bloodborne where you don't know what's going on, it fits because that's kind of the general theme where you're figuring stuff out as you go. And it works really well there since the world is interconnected. But since this is mission based, it's just it's a completely different feel.
Yes. Yes, and what else we got in a DLC as new enemy? Nupepo, was it the crab?
Karaoke. I like the karaoke cut a lot. The enemy that they specifically say is not an Enki, but is totally an Enki.
Yeah, but it has a different moves. I like that same Enki karaoke whatsoever with the split staff. Oh, that dude it's quite nice. Like I like when he tossed the split staff from the air on me. Like he surprised me. So they have had like a two different version of karaoke. I would say like there is a one with a switchblade and there is a one with a split staff. So both of them are fine. They are fine. Like only enemy that I dislike highly are the crabs, like especially the big ones and in the groups because you can do no shit in front from the front. If you could knock their key off, it would be nice. But you cannot do that as well. You can do nothing. Like I need to what they are forcing us this way, which I highly dislike, to play with light. There is a bunch of builds which are related to the light. And what does the lightning do except the slowing down the enemy? Why are we making the mini slot game? Like why? I don't like that.
What you're telling me you don't like to apply lightning and sloth and Otakemaru and dragon dance at the same time? Come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean the light is fine, but not to use it as the main stuff. Not to use it as the main stuff. Like why? No point of that. No point.
Right. There are issues with this game, and I do enjoy it, but I do hope that a lot of the stuff gets rectified and changed. It needs it. I think the patch 1.14, while it probably dealt with the most game-breaking bugs, I do understand the sentiment that there needs to be more. There's just there's like this huge gap between content now. It was pretty exciting when early on the main release there were a bunch of patches that kept coming. I was like, oh my god, is it going to be like every week or every 2 weeks? Like that's awesome. Keep it coming. When they released that like 1 million copies sold with the online missions and whatever, or the blue downloadable missions, I was like, dude, this is awesome. It was just overall a blast. And if they can continue to do that, I mean, this game can definitely pick up the pace. To go back to that one thing about marketing and showcasing this game, like, I'm not opposed to people turning this game into a build fest. Like, I don't care how you play this game. You play in whatever way you find it most enjoyable. My only problem is that this game also gets pigeonholed into just being played that way, and people only see it that way, and it's kind of self-reinforcing. And as Xelod has said, this game can also be played as like a bona fide action stylistic type of game in the same way that DMC games are played, Ninja Gaiden's been played. I'll just go with DMC since that's more well known to, I guess, a lot of people. I mean, Ninja Gaiden is known as well from anyone who's played a Team Ninja game. But those games were just glorious to witness certain players play because they just made the game look great. It made it look fun. It looked really lively. And Nioh just doesn't have that reputation nearly as much. People just say Souls-like, Souls-like, Souls-like. And Xelod made this whole point about how it's like an apples to orange comparison. They're just different things altogether. And my hope, and everyone is part of the Discord and the community in general, is just hoping that more and more people can be exposed to this combo-based style of play, which just completely changes how you see the game and adds so much replay value, and I really like it.
Yeah, that's true. Like I've been also saying from long ago, you should not compare those two games. And I mean, calling the game Souls-like, then we should call the Dark Souls Demon Souls-like, because the Demon Souls is launched before the Dark Souls, and the Dark Souls is made as it's like a Demon Souls is the predecessor to the Dark Souls. What? So it doesn't mean that any game which come after, like let's say in 2050 we got a game and it's gonna call it what? Souls-like, because it's made afterwards. I mean, the Nioh is unique on its own way. The Dark Souls is unique on its own way. Like Mortal Shell, let's get on that game. That game was released recently. Mortal Shell, it's game which is Souls-like. And you can say it is Souls-like because when you look at weapons and at let's say the stamina, stats, let's say stats wise, boss fights, you will see it has a lot of similarities to the Dark Souls. While when you take a look at Nioh, you cannot say. The bosses in Nioh are faster. There is a key management which does not exist in any other game, at least that I know. Maybe I'm mistaken, but the Nioh is unique. If they've been calling it Souls-like because of the let's say the Amirita things, and you know, Souls, Amirita, leveling. I mean, in every game you have a leveling, you have some kind of a shrine, something like, you know, some kind of experience, just differently named. So that's not a reason to call the game Souls-like. Again, and the worst of everything is that we have game reviewers which play the game 10 hours and they write in the review which people are reading everywhere around the world. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, if I get in any new game, I cannot write any review for the 10 hours of the game. Like, I need to spend bunch of hours, and then I can tell you this game is worth, this game is like this, or not like this, or you should play it or should not play it. Like, I really
Right.
feels bad to see the people, like, what do people who are new in Nioh do? They play it like a Dark Souls, especially if they're Dark Souls veteran. They're gonna get there and play it in a high stance rolling, and then they're gonna waste all their key, and then they're gonna go away to recover that key. You're playing the game like a Dark Souls, and that game should not be played like that, because you gotta key pulse, you gotta key flux, you gotta flux 1-2, you gotta low stance. I mean, you got a bunch of stuff in that game which is hell different than the Souls game.
I agree. I mean, Nioh is very certainly inspired from Dark Souls. It's pretty obvious. It has a lot of the telltale things, but fundamental combat mechanics and combat flow, once you play Nioh and get into the key management system, the anima management system, and just which was introduced in Nioh 2, it's very, very different. There's just a lot you can do with it. It's a lot of fun, and that's why we play it.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. And you're
Dude,
right.
I just
about
realized we've been on this for an hour. Let's go kill Mezuki, man.
or Gozuki.
Let's go kill Gozuki. Let's go. Okay, so we've got this shit backdashing enemy. I'll kill the Gaki since Gakis and I hate each other. Come here, you little shit.
Wow.
Wait, there's a second one? Oh yeah, we're doing co-op.
what was fun actually? I was fighting Grandma and Gaki, and then you knocked that Gaki off a key, and the other Gaki just said, "Oh, fuck you," and he went towards that Gaki to eat him.
Yep, that's the Gakis for you. They all deserve to die, every single one. You're using what levels? Are you using ones or what?
Level 1s. I think it's a Ben's Grace. Yeah, Ben's Grace, level 1s, please, Stefan.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I've been slacking. I said I gotta make a build video, and I was slacking. Like, I need to take some time to do it.
Whatever, there's like a million build videos, you're fine.
Oh, this is our friend Brazuki.
Oh yeah, Gozuki, who does... What does he do again? I don't even know. He's more useful. I like how as a boss he's a joke, but his soul core is so
what was
busted.
the name of this skill?
Oh look, it says Kage calls. It's called Fun Build. Because that's the build everybody seems to like using.
The damage of the split stuff is insane.
I actually put Masterful Slice on it for Dragon Dance. Did he go down already? I just grappled him. Just keep doing it. Are you joking? Is he gonna... Oh my god. This is so stupid.
What the fuck is this, man? Come on.
Dude, this is top tier gameplay. Oh, okay, there we go. What the hell?
I don't know what, did he glitch there or what?
I don't know what he did, man.
Yeah, this is the
This
thing
guy's
that
a total
have to be
joke.
fixed.
Alright, Gozuki, I guess Gozuki tried, so we'll give him bonus points for that.
He tried hard though.
He tried hard, he tried his best. I don't know why I went that around that way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we're just gonna rush Gozuki. Or Mezuki, I'm not gonna even bother that much. Bombs! Oh, okay, I'll try to get... Oh, come here. Oh, there's that shit.
Oh, there he is. Your favorite enemy.
He did his hyper armor
Those
garbage.
dudes are crazy. I mean,
Alright,
they
let me
can
see
be
if I
pretty
can
ugly.
shoot the other guy real quick. Alright, I'm coming up. Looks like you got him.
I have not checked. Did they speed up the certain moves?
I mean, I'm fine with split step as it is. I think it's already ridiculously powerful. Not even accounting for a lot of the anima gain, just how it functions normally. It's pretty crazy. Like, if you know how to speed it up, it's pretty silly. There's like a bunch of crazy, just like zero key combos you can do with it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I like about the split stuff. You can do zero key combos.
Yeah, no trouble.
Like without cutting you in the middle of your skill, like when you run out of key. Like, you know, with certain weapons, you will just stop. Like, no key. I cannot perform that. Or keep doing that.
I like hatchets a lot too. I think all the new weapons are just done overall really well. Switchglaive's a lot of fun, hatchets are a lot of fun, split staff's a lot of fun. Like, it's pretty difficult to make 3 completely new weapons that have completely different identities and all work really well. And they're like all fun to play with.
Yeah, that's true. Like I didn't like the hatches in the beginning.
Same.
But they have changed them a lot, and I gotta say, really quite nice weapon. And it's allowing you, it's allowing you to play differently. You can get the enemy from like, you know, chest to chest, like a melee combat. You can go away and toss the hatches if you want on him. Like, it's situational. Really sweet weapon.
It's a sick weapon, yeah, and I'll try to demonstrate how I use it for players just to help them think outside the box what you can do. Because there's a lot, and it should not be underestimated. It's a really powerful, I guess you could say a mid-range weapon. I kind of just think of it as hit and run sort of tactics, which work really well for it.
Like, the only thing
just,
when it's come to the weapon I would like to change is the switchglaive flash attack. So that's all.
oh, you mean the lack of a flash attack? Yeah.
God,
I don't actually really use that one. It's admittedly a little annoying when it's like pretty much you have the same sort of attack animation for various things. Like the mid stance dash attack is also like the same as like the mid stance strong attack, which is the same as the flash attack. It's like, come on, they could have had some difference there.
Yeah. Wait, did he grab you a moment ago?
Yeah, he grabbed me, it doesn't really matter.
What was funny, I was able to hit him even if you were on the ground and he was in the animation. I don't know. Like,
that's pretty special.
Usually they have the iframes.
Opening the store. Yeah, I thought he would have iframes. That is strange.
Yeah, that's why I've been asking, like, what the hell? We'll see if that's occur again.
Hatchets are a lot of fun. I'm really glad I gave them a chance, and so on and so forth. Just like some little things you can change with the hatchets just make it that much more fun.
You are playing
Like
the hatchets
different-
pretty nicely. Like, I was like, watch. Lately I've not been playing the hatchets or the switchglaives that much, but I've been seeing you been spending had a lot of time with it. Get the hell out of here, dude.
Yeah, it's just a unique weapon type, so I'm always like thrilled to have it. And I love that creativity that they required pretty much in order to develop this. Like it's one of the great things that are done about games like this is when you get to see that. Oh, fuck her. Yeah, I don't give a shit about this. Hate this enemy. Backdash Supreme.
Yeah, backdash. This is the thing, backdash.
Here, enjoy. Trap her right here.
You see? It's trying to backdash, but it cannot.
My god. Hate this enemy so much. Just for the backdashing. Like you can give it armor, it's fine with me. Just backdashing makes it so annoying. I think you killed him. I think you did. My turn. Spam Epon, right? I know how to play this game, guys. Don't judge. My god. Alright, what do we got? Enki? You know what that means. The spam Epon, let's go.
Oh yeah, give me a sec. You're right there.
My turn. Alright, my turn. Oh, that's right. Ignore the game with Dragon Dance Epon. There you go. Gosh, I forget how ridiculous the anima gain is for that ability.
Yeah,
You'd think I'd know that since I just talked about it, but I guess not.
It is ridiculous. Like I haven't been paying attention that much because I'm not using that much. Usually I use the dragon dance when I knock enemy in the corner because the enemy tend to get away from our water sword reaper for some reason. But what I haven't noticed after the patch 114, the enemies are not anymore being knock away when we do the water sword of the reaper. They basically eating and getting staggered. That's what I have noticed. I cannot confirm that 100%, but we can try it. Or we can try it in other mission whatsoever, and you will see the enemy is not getting knocked back anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you. We're gonna be dumb now.
The Epon is too powerful. Like you can cancel his attacks. Like
it's pretty crazy. Double Epon. Dragon fun build. Oh my god, this is so bad. Oh dear god, this is so degenerate. I'm using a level 1 split staff too, by the way.
but look at it. Okay, he got me. I hate this move. The only move I hate about this dude is that move. Because you cannot dodge it from the opposite side.
This is so stupid.
No.
Epon. This is so bad. Double Epon at the same time. And I thought I couldn't sink any lower. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna get that off.
Insane, insane.
Oh my god.
Wait. How you can grapple him again?
I don't have any idea, man.
Something is not alright. Something is fucked up after the last patch. Seems like you did that a bunch of times on the Gozuki. I was okay, but you did we did the same on the Mezuki.
You know, I've actually done, Kage and I actually have done this against Kasha, where it was just weird, where we basically reset the grapple state. I don't know why that was the case, it just was. Oh dear God. Well, go for it, you're the guest.
It was nice, it was nice knowing you, Mr. Mezuki.
Well, he's done. He's dead.
Yeah, absolutely. He's dead.
I got my guarding spirit skill off because that mattered so much. That was with level 1 split staff, guys, and co-op. Again, just to verify, level 1's purity split staff. No damage added onto this. This is pretty like bare bones, and yet pretty crazy.
I was using the heroic monk with imbue fire. Level 1, and it's insane.
Yeah,
I like
actually
insane. That move. The
chain crush.
The strong attack in a low stance. It has a follow-up.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
This. If
With
you
what
hold
follow-up?
your triangle. Look, once you press it, you see you're going to do on. You will just, let's say, spin the yeah, that one. Go. You see.
Yeah,
so if you
really
press,
cool.
you gotta press twice the triangle for that. If you press it only once, you will not split the staff.
Well, you gotta hold it basically.
Yeah, or press it twice or hold it. Yeah, which is the thing I like. It has a lot of cool moves. When you hold the button and when you press the button, it acts different. The split staff.
Yep,
It's really,
just
really
a
unique.
quick press. Quick press is obviously pretty fast.
So, what I can say, most of the moves where the staff is splitting are when you hold the button. I don't know if you noticed that, but whenever you hold the button, you will see that he will perform the move where he split his staff. When you press the
Right.
buttons like a square, triangle, whatsoever, you're gonna do the moves like he's holding the staff, which is like non-splittable, which is quite nice.
It's definitely a very technical weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot of fun. Now this was a lot of fun, Xelod. So I'm surprised we actually went quite over the time that I was expecting, but this has been pretty good overall. Did I get anything cool? Let's see. I'm gonna check my soul cores real fast.
I haven't got
I
nothing.
got absolutely nothing I care about.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure to be a guest in this podcast, and I guess we have discussed a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, we did. We definitely did, man. It was good to have you, and wow, these podcasts just keep getting longer, so I'll have to figure that out. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks once again so much, Xelod, for your company, and thanks for everybody for continuing to watch these. It's always it's nice to have. It's nice to get your guys' company and support, even though it's just me and Xelod. Xelod didn't pick on me too much today, so I'm safe for now, but that may change in the future. Oh man, I'm definitely gonna get to bed after this. Good stuff, man. Seriously, thanks, Xelod. And thank you guys once again. And we will see everyone next time. Take care. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.